everyone, welcome back to Alice and the Giant Bookshelf. Today it's Tuesday and I'm going to be doing the Three Musketeers Book Tag. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. As it's Tag Tuesday, I thought I would do a tag today, and it's been a really long time, I feel, since I've done a tag. I have been tagged in so many, so thank you if you've tagged me, and I promise I will get to the tag eventually as long as I've seen it. Lots of tags to do, but today I thought I would do just one tag, and that is an original tag by the lovely Beki from Teacup the Storyteller. I absolutely love Beki's channel, and I urge you to check it out if you haven't already. It's just got such lovely vibes and makes me happy every time I watch it. So this is Beki's original tag, and it's all about the Three Musketeers, of course, because that is Beki's favourite book. I think there are 11 or 12 questions, so let's get into them and let's talk about the Three Musketeers. So question 1 is, Alexandre Dumas was born in the 19th century. Do you have a favourite time period to read about? And if yes, what do you like about it? I never used to be a big fan of sort of period dramas and things like that. So I would have always said that my favourite time period to read about was probably sort of the golden age of crime. So like the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s. That sort of era. I do enjoy reading about that time period still, and I would say that that's a time period I enjoy reading about a lot. I also enjoy reading about sort of time periods within my life, within my own lifetime. So I've enjoyed a lot of books from like the 80s, 90s and 2000s that are set in that sort of modern time period. But I have got to like more recently classics, and some of my favourite classics have definitely been from the Victorian era. So I would say it's between Victorian times, early 20th century, and something set a little bit of time ago, like the 80s or 90s, so there's not like loads of mobile phones and stuff. Question number 2. Alexandre Dumas was born in France. Is there a French author whose book you'd recommend? I'm really ashamed to say that not only have I not read any Dumas, I've actually not read really very much by French authors at all. I did do a French A-level, and at French A-level we had to read some French literature, obviously in French, and what we read was The Miser by Mourier, which is pretty good if you like sort of French plays. The other thing that we read was a short story collection called Boule de Suif by, I think, Guy de Maupassant. Yeah, that's a really bizarre short story, the title of short story, because Boule de Suif literally translates as ball of fat. It's about, shall we say, a lady of the night. Experience of reading books in French has been interesting. But if there is a French author whose book you would recommend to me, please let me know in the comments down below. I do very much intend to read Dumas this year, but if there's any others, please do let me know. Question number 3 is, Alexandre Dumas often based his novels on real events and historical figures. Is there a person from the past you would like to meet? I think it'll be too predictable if I say Agatha Christie. I would really like to meet Agatha Christie, but I think she was quite shy and retiring, so she might not really want to be meeting people. But it would be so interesting to talk to her about her books. I'm going to go with Agatha Christie because I don't have another good answer though. Question number 4 is, Alexandre Dumas wrote some pretty chunky books. The Count of Monte Cristo is around 1,000 pages. His son Alexandre Dumas Jr.'s only book is less than 180 pages. What is the longest and shortest book you've read? So my longest book is Bleak House by Dickens, and that would be... that's nearly 1,000 pages. My copy had 941 pages, and yeah, really pleased that I've read that, but it did take me a very long time. The other biggest when I checked on Goodreads was Blonde by Joyce Carol Oates, which is a sort of fictionalised version of Marilyn Monroe's story, which is super interesting as well. So yeah, highly recommend that one. The shortest one was really hard to find. It's probably one of my Agatha Christie graphic novels, but I thought I wouldn't count graphic novels, so I've picked definitely the shortest book, apart from graphic novels, that I read last year, and probably my smallest book that I own. Let's show those in comparison to each other. Also by Dickens, this is The Signalman by Charles Dickens, and it's got 2 short stories in it, and it's only 52 pages. So I'm going to go with that, even though it's short stories. So question 5, this is what Beki says. I don't think there's a video in which I don't mention my favourite book, Three Musketeers. Is there a book you want everyone to know about? It can be a favourite book of all time or a recent read. I really definitely do think that, Beki, you do mention the Three Musketeers very, very often, probably in every video. And I think I have the same thing with Agatha Christie. There's rarely, if ever, a video goes by where she's not at least mentioned. But I'm not going to say Agatha Christie for this one. The book that I want everyone to know about is actually a book series, and I will keep trying to get people to read this until everybody has read it, because this is a childhood favourite series of books and it's so good. And it's a sort of fantasy-ish series from, like, I think it was written in the 60s or 70s, and I just don't hear anyone talk about it, and it's amazing, so it deserves to be talked about. And that is a series by Susan Cooper called The Dark is Rising sequence. So The Dark is Rising sequence starts with a book called Oversea Under Stone, which is very much set in the real world. But in it, the children go on an adventure/quest, and it's just amazing. A brilliant introduction to the series. The next one in the series is The Dark is Rising, and this is a kind of almost Christmas time sort of set book, as far as I remember. And this is where the real sort of fantasy elements start to come in, and where the quest really, really begins in earnest with a different character. I think his name is Will. It's just amazing. I can see why this is the book that the series is named after, but if you do read Oversea Under Stone and The Dark is Rising, you'll definitely want to read the rest of the books, which is Green Witch comes next, The Grey King and Silver on the Tree. Those are the 5 books. They are only quite short, but they are amazing. I have reread them when I was in my 20s, and I want to reread them again, and I'm going to keep mentioning them until people start picking them up. Question number 6 is one of the most famous quotes in literature. All for one, one for all, came from the pen of Alexandre Dumas. Do you keep track of your favourite quotes when reading? Do you have a quote to share, and which book does it come from? I think I've said in some videos before that I do keep a book of books with a record of what I've read, and at one point I was writing down quotes in that, and one of my favourites that I ever wrote down, well, although I haven't written down many, are from The Big Sleep by Raymond Chandler. I mean, obviously, this is just one of my top favourite quotes from a crime book, and it's very crime book-esque. So we have, neither of the 2 people in the room paid any attention to the way I came in, although only one of them was dead. So recently I've actually been writing down some quotes and things in this book, which is the book that I write about buddy reads in and group reads. One of my favourite quotes that I've written down in this is the opening to Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Last night I dreamt I went to Manderley again. It seemed to me I stood by the iron gate leading to the drive, and for a while I could not enter, for the way was barred to me. On to the next question. The Three Musketeers is a book of strong friendship and allegiance. Do you have a favourite fictional friendship? One I've been rereading recently is the friendship between Anne in Anne of Green Gables and Diana, her best friend. I love that friendship. That was absolutely fantastic. So well written, and I love the way the girls are just such close friends. I was also going to say the first one that comes into my head is Lyra and Will from his Dark Materials trilogy. So they first meet in The Subtle Knife, and it's their friendship relationship in The Subtle Knife that I really, really enjoy. Number 8, The Three Musketeers is a story with strong female characters who are brave, fearless, yet gentle and loving. However, some of them prove to be true evil. Do you have a favourite female fictional character? Who is it and why? I think I'm going to go with somebody else from a book that I read last year, Emma. And the title character in Emma is just so funny to me. I think she's a great character because she's just so blissfully unaware at times that the things that she is doing are not actually as helpful as she believes them to be. Yeah, so maybe Emma. I do think an amazing character who doesn't actually appear in the book is, going back to Rebecca, is the character Rebecca. Like, her presence is so strong in the book Rebecca, even though she is not alive during the book. So I think she is like a really strong character that I've enjoyed reading about in the past year. Question 9 is, there are more than 50 film adaptations of The Three Musketeers. Is there a film adaptation you enjoyed more than the actual book? I would have to say Little Women, and I mean the film from 2019, no other version. The one with Saoirse Ronan, Florence Pugh, Laura Dern, and so on. It's not that I think I enjoyed it more than the actual book, although I did. It's that I think it's the most perfect film adaptation I've seen of something, because not only does it capture the essence of the book, it also somehow adds to it. So I just think that's a brilliant, brilliant adaptation that everyone should watch. Question number 10 is that Beki owns 3 editions of The Three Musketeers. Is there a book you own more than one edition of? Yes, there is. The only books I really own more than one of are Agatha Christie books, but surprisingly, the one that I've got the most of is actually one of Agatha Christie's least well thought of books. And I didn't actually buy all of these on purpose, but it turns out the one I own the most of is The Mystery of the Blue Train. So I own a copy of it that's in a bind-up with The Listerdale Mystery and Murder at the Vicarage, and I got this second-hand, and I think probably read The Listerdale Mystery from it. I don't think I actually read The Mystery of the Blue Train in this one, but I might have done. So that's the first copy. I then have it as a facsimile first edition copy, and I also have the Agatha Christie signature edition paperback copy. I think I got this one because when my mum read all of the books, she bought quite a few in charity shops. Maybe this is one of them. If not, I got this in a set. But yeah, I really do like this edition of it. And this edition of it is very cool too. And I think this might have been given to me by a really good friend who gave me like a whole set of these that she was getting rid of. That explains that one. And the fourth copy of it that I have is the graphic novel edition. And I have read this one, I believe. Got some quite good graphics in this one. So that's 4 different editions of a book that isn't even one of my favourite Agatha Christie's, which seems a bit excessive. Yeah, but the reason I haven't got rid of the bind-up is because I don't actually have The Listerdale Mystery or Murder at the Vicarage in any other copies. Anyway, question number 11. Have you read The Three Musketeers or any other book by Dumas? If yes, which one? I'm really, really sorry, Beki. I haven't read any of the books. I really, really want to now. And I think I'll start with The Three Musketeers as it's such a favourite of Beki's. I hope to read that this year. I know that I will love it because I used to absolutely love a cartoon. And I'd love you to tell me in the comments down below whether you watched this as a child, called Dogtanian and the Three Muskehounds. It was just such a good cartoon, and in it D'Artagnan and the Three Musketeers are reimagined as dogs. But it's just brilliant, and I now have the theme tune to that in my head. So yeah, if you've never watched it, check it out on YouTube. I'll try and find a link and link it down below. Dogtanian and the Three Muskehounds. Absolutely love it. With that, we've come to the end of the questions, apart from tag some friends to do this tag. So I'm going to tag some lovely ladies who have tagged me recently, and I think that they will all enjoy this tag, so here we go. And they are Emily at Novell Novels, Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading, Book Talks with Mrs. Thomas, and Jack at Spread Book Joy. I love this tag. I think it's a brilliant idea by Beki to make up a tag in honour of her favourite book. And I'm sorry, Beki, that I haven't read any Dumas yet. I promise to fix that this year. Before I go, I just wanted to mention the results of the Booktube Spin, because I had my Booktube Spin video up last week. and I was really pleased with the results. The two numbers that came up were number 8 and number 13, and weirdly enough, even though there were only 2 books that were remotely related to Agatha Christie, they both came up. So we have The Mousetrap and Selected Plays by Agatha Christie, which was number 8. And number 13 on the list was Murder Isn't Easy, The Forensics of Agatha Christie by Carla Valentine. So we have some of Agatha Christie's plays, and we have a non-fiction about Agatha Christie. Unbelievable. I'll really enjoy reading those two over the coming months. Thanks for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this Three Musketeers tag, and if you did enjoy the video, please do give it a like. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. Do let me know, have you read any Dumas? Are there any French authors you would recommend for me? Or just let me know what is the longest and shortest books that you've ever read. And I hope very much to see you all again soon in another video all about books here on Alice and the Giant Bookshelf. Bye for now.